start chronologically with the first of the three elements that come together to really offer a new opportunity here. This is a picture from a factory called Hawthorne Works outside of Chicago in the 1920s, where a company called Western Electric was building relays for telephone networks. And these women would wind the wires and relays. And this is the beginning of the sort of man-motion research and the beginnings of thinking about scientific management. And as the industrial age matured, it was trying to figure out how to do things more efficiently. So researchers started changing things. They would turn on the lighting and see what effect that had on productivity. It would improve productivity. They would try other things. They would change the shift length. They would have the employees get a bit more sleep. They would change the meal times. And everything they did improved productivity. Then they went further. Then they undid some of those things. They turned the lighting back to where it was originally, and that improved productivity. And over time, they got lots of data that looked like this. And in the 1950s, and the 40s and 50s will become an important date in the prehistory of living by numbers. Some researchers at Harvard went back to the data for modern statistical methods, and they coined something called the Hawthorne effect. And this effect simply says that the act of observing your actions will encourage you to improve them. It's also called the observer effect. But simply observing something causes people to be more aware of it and to think harder about it and to often be better at it. And this notion of observation being a powerful incentive to improve performance is now the first basis of the Living by Numbers work. Today, it's not that researchers are observing us, it's that we're observing ourselves. And that by observing ourselves, the theory goes, and increasingly data supports, by observing ourselves, by being aware of not only what we do, but the consequences of what we do, we will make wiser choices, behave better, perform better, achieve more. Simply the act of observation is powerful by itself. The second factor that came together around the same time, the 40s and the 50s, was the beginning of the cybernetics movement. So this is Norbert Wiener, who was one of the researchers who first coined the phrase, and one of the researchers who first started doing this work. And cybernetics actually came out of control theory, out of chemical engineering. It's basically based on the notion of this. This is a governor that you may recognize from steam engines. It may seem like a simple thing, but what it is it is an automatic device. The faster it spins, the more those wheels, centrifugal force forces those wheels out, and it slows down the engine. And so this simple machine has the ability to both measure the performance of the engine and control the performance of the engine. It is an automatic device, and therefore it has a feedback loop. It is what we call a closed-loop system. And that concept, the notion that systems could be self-regulating, became really powerful when we started to think more about, well, if you can close the loop, if you can, get this feedback going, you can get much more efficient systems. They don't run out of control. In robotics today, we talk a lot about open-loop and closed-loop systems. Closed-loop systems are those that use sensors to measure their performance. It's not just actuators moving arms. Sensors figuring out, is this where I want to go? Am I pushing too hard, too little? Can I see what I want to see? And that feedback loop between the sensors and the actuators is what gives these machines a sense of the world around them, and the ability to respond and adjust and adapt to the now become very small, very efficient, and very cheap. That's about $2. Gyros, the same. Magnetometers, GPS sensors, all these kinds of sensors are benefiting from the technology industry's relentless driving down of cost and making things smaller, cheaper, better battery life. And as a result, we now have the ability to have sensors everywhere. I would suspect that every one of you is carrying an accelerometer on you right now in your phone. Many of you, if you have an iPhone 4, also have 3-axis gyros, 3-axis magnetometer, GPS sensors, proximity sensors, light sensors, etc. We're starting to be bristling with sensors simply because they're cheap, easy, and effortless to integrate into the electronics we're already carrying around us. Those sensors have only begun to be used. We now have the ability to measure the world around us. And the question is, what will we do with that? The third element, which is crucial, is the notion of sharing. The notion of sort of combining the data and the people in doing something more with it than you do by yourself. And this actually predates the current era. Alcoholics Anonymous is an example of patients talking to each other. I use the word patients loosely, but people talking to each other to not only share data, best practice, experience, but also a sense of peer support and competition to help each other, improve by being aware of each other's performance. We saw the same thing with Weight Watchers, another sort of community-based efforts to improve quality of life and health. And now, and these are physical communities. Now, once you move into the internet age, we have the ability to link data electronically and people electronically, not only face-to-face, but around the world. When you link people, when people communicate with each other, they have this powerful network effects. And a Harvard researcher, Nicholas Tsakis, has done some of the best work in the influence people have on each other's behavior. He's done not just the usual health things, but things like weight and smoking. And this is a page from a Wired article on him at the time. This is just an example of smoking. In this case, the big orange dots are smokers, and they're kind of evenly distributed. And what happens if when you advance the network by 20 years, is you find they're no longer evenly distributed. What you find is that smokers tend to either create or be surrounded by other smokers, and you get this influencing effect by which things that we don't think of as being infectious become infectious, even including being overweight. There's this sense that we can influence each other's behaviors in ways that we're only just now starting to understand, and now that we're in a network by more than face-to-face, we have the ability to do this on a massive global scale. So those are, and I just wanted to end with the sort of the updating of patient communities. We now have online patient communities who are not only complementing traditional healthcare, but in some sense going beyond what traditional healthcare the norms will permit in terms of both trading best practice, experience, advice, but also looking at things like off-label use of drugs. They're taking power into their own hands because they can. And this exchange of data and its ability to try things that are not formally being tried through the traditional research establishments or the pharmaceutical industry is a powerful adjunct and possible alternative to the classic clinical trials that have dominated research to date, and it's all because patients are sharing data and talking to each other. So this is basically the three factors that are coming together to create the new cybernetics. I don't expect for a moment the phrase cybernetics is going to come back into vogue, but it's interesting to look at the historical precedents and how powerful the notion of feedback loops have been in not only creating the technology world we know today, but increasingly the health, wellness, quality of life world that we're all going to be talking about today. The three factors are simply observations, that's awareness of what you're doing, the consequences, sensors making those observations automatic and in real time. And then finally, the notion of connecting both the data and the people to create massive data sets that not only give us insight into elements of daily life that we're not previously recording, but also have people talk about their experiments in their own life so that we can benefit from them. So this is my life. These are the more necklace, and then I've got a Polar watch on my arm that is constantly measuring not just my exercise activity, but my daily activity, my walking, my going upstairs, taking the elevator. My watch has a little man, a little bar. I have to fill up that bar every day. And as I choose between, I check into the hotel at 9 o'clock at night, and I choose between hitting the mini bar and hitting the gym. The little man on my wrist says, hit the gym. And I feel that kind of constant awareness, not like how am I doing, but these targets that I've committed to myself to hit. This is, the notion, that my sleep monitor is not as good as a clinical sleep lab, but it's with me all the time. It is there every night, and although I'm not getting high-resolution data, at least not the same high-resolution data, what I'm getting is continuity of data. I can do these experiments at no cost for years, and I can really understand not just what large populations, statistics of large populations in sleep, but the statistics of me and my wife. And, my children want to go to them too. This ability to kind of bring the data and the experiment home and integrate it into your own life is an incredible, powerful motivator in changing the decisions I make. Every night I make decisions before I go to bed, whether it's consciously or unconsciously. And now I not only think about those decisions, but I can see the consequences of those decisions the next morning. So when I wake up in the morning and my wife says, how do you sleep? The answer is 72. I got 84. You can quantify our experience. This is my weight. I'm doing okay. I won't show you my children and wife are doing okay as well, however. And we now look at each other as dashboards. And the kids are gaining weight, and that's appropriate because they're young and they're growing. My wife is doing experiments with different kinds of exercise. She just cut salt out of her diet, and you can see the consequences of that. I just cut sugar out of my diet, and I can see the consequences on that. And so we're constantly looking at each other's dashboards and sort of, not to criticize, but more because we're aware of what that person's personal targets are. And we can sort of say, how's it going? Or we can more of the point say, I can see it's working, bravo. These are my activity targets. Some days I do well, some days I don't do well, but I'm constantly aware that I should be doing better. And these are my sleep targets. I'm correlated with the day of the week or time I went to bed. These dashboards are increasingly good, easy to understand, and someday, and I hope we'll hear more about that today, someday they're going to be easier to interconnect. And all these measurements I'm making in my life can start to be correlated, so I can track these choices and their consequences throughout everything that matters to me. The Robert Wood Johnson Foundation calls these observations of daily living, ODLs. And that is the kind of the huge sort of dark matter of the medical world. Which is to say, we measure disease, pathologies, etc. So many decisions you make in daily life. What you choose to eat, when you choose to eat it, stress, sleep, who you choose to associate with, where you go, elevator or stairs. These daily observations of daily living we now have the capacity to record them. All of us, even as you sit there, are emitting what we call data exhaust. You have a pulse, you have a temperature, there's effluents of various sorts coming off you, brain waves. All these things can be measured. And we increasingly have devices in our pockets that will have the power to measure them. We now have all these important things about lifestyle and diet, which are really kind of determined cognitive in much of the medical sciences, are now something that we can measure, maybe with a kind of noisy form, maybe not individually, we don't have statistical power, but we join the data and we get big end statistics. That noise becomes less important. We can start to answer some of the huge questions about how should we live our lives. I want to give you a couple more examples. Children are using activity meters, both in the research context and elsewhere. You can now get devices like this. It's coming on the market soon. They're cards with accelerometers, and it's so cool. You attach them to things you care about. So you can attach one to your toothbrush and measure how long you're brushing your teeth and how often. You can put it on a pill bottle and just measure whether you took your pills or not. You can put it on the refrigerator door and count how many times that opened or not. These cards, these accelerometers, by Jim or by Eva, that we don't know, by being, again, cheap, easy easy, ubiquitous, you can decide what you want to measure, and you can start to put it around the house and quantify those things that matter to you. Children are now using pedometers, which are basically accelerometers, to not just to measure their activity, because they don't care about that. What instead they're doing is they're earning points to level up in the games they do care about. And this way of once again surfacing data to encourage better behavior is now in a game context, which is, as you know, incredibly powerful. But just a couple last examples. This is a patent application from Apple for a way to use the metal frame of an iPhone of some future sort, to measure pulse. Now, originally, they suggested this would be good for biometric identification. But imagine what else you can do with it. You can now measure stress. And you can correlate stress with who you're talking to, where you are, what time of day it is. We now have cardiac measurements built into the thing you're holding in your hand anyway. And the ability, because it's networked, to combine with other people. Just imagine where we'll go with that. We talked a little bit about the feedback loops, but it's not just identified to medical stuff. That car we heard earlier is an example of a feedback loop. You see the consequences of pressing the pedal or not. Tomorrow, your thermometer in your home will be smart and connected. You'll see the consequences of turning on the dryer now or then. You'll know what price of electricity is at 7 versus 9. You'll see the consequences of your actions. You make every day making choices. You don't know what the consequences of those choices are. Now, you're not only surfacing the fact that these are choices, but also being able to make wiser, better informed choices. And this is an example of electricity here. It not only shows your electricity, but it shows your neighbors and your efficient neighbors. You suck. You can do better, and now you know. You're not just looking at a bill compared to yourself, you're looking at a bill compared to your neighbors. This is competition, this is game, and this is applying some of those important issues for our time. The environment, your health. So this notion of your health, lifestyle, quality of life, combined with these game dynamics that kick in when you can share data, create this explosion of not only statistical data, but also the incentives and the interpersonal dynamics that encourage better behavior and smarter choices. It will look, maybe for many people, it will look like a game. Look how compelling something like Farmville is as you level up. Imagine this was not, feeding hay to animals, but instead, feeding your family better, or making electricity choices better, or simply living better, but it felt like a game. You can see how powerful that might be. So finally, I just wanted to point out that this is the original Moira cover that coined the phrase 2 years ago. And you'll hear more about this in Thomas Guess this afternoon. But this movement, this combination of data, sensors, and these network effects of linking people is really just 2 years old. It's incredibly exciting to think where it might go. Thank you very much.